Well, world-renowned psychologist Dr Ramani has spent years helping people identify narcissistic behaviours and toxic relationships. With more than 2 million followers online, she's appeared on the world's biggest podcasts and platforms, sharing the warning signs and advice to protect your self-worth.
Yeah, our fascination with the term has exploded in the past 20 years, with Google searches up a massive 455%. So, what does narcissism actually look like? Well, Dr Ramani joins us live from Los Angeles to talk about this. You are the expert when it comes to this topic. It is a word we hear a lot now, but can we just start off, how would you define it?
Narcissism is a personality style, and it's defined by certain traits and patterns, things like having variable or low empathy, entitlement, arrogance, grandiosity, pathological selfishness, an excessive need for admiration and validation. They believe people envy them. They envy other people. They're status-oriented, superficial, and this shows up in relationships as manipulation, invalidation, betrayal, gaslighting, taking advantage of other people. The tricky part of these relationships is, though, these are also people who can be quite charming, charismatic, and socially skilled.
Right, so if you do suspect that someone in your life does have this, what are some of the early warning signs that people often miss?
You feel silenced. You can't understand why they get so they'll blame you. I think I'm actually going to start with the most basic. Okay. You're being blamed for something that was absolutely not your responsibility. So blame shifting is a very classical pattern that shows up pretty early in these relationships. If something goes wrong, it's your fault, even if you had nothing to do with it. You'll see that they have trouble tolerating frustration, stress, disappointment. They'll just blow up when something goes wrong. And again, they'll also blame you. They'll always put themselves first, but there's a hypocrisy. They'll say, I'm so wonderful, I'm so empathic, I'm so generous. And you'll actually sort of feel like you're in a bit of a confusing horror film, like what exactly is happening here? But mostly over time, people in these relationships feel confused. They blame themselves for everything that's going wrong.
What's the solution then? I mean, is it just no contact? Is that even possible if this scenario is in your life?
It's too simplistic, right? People aren't all going to go and divorce their parents and their siblings and their partners. The most important thing is to understand what these patterns are. And the reason my book is called It's Not You is to stop blaming yourself, because that can keep a person stuck in a cycle where they keep abandoning themselves. Understand what the pattern is. Understand that it's not really going to change, and then make choices that work for you. If you decide to not leave the relationship, have realistic expectations. You may not want to turn to them for support when you're going through a hard time. You may not expect them to give you a pat on the back when you do well. If you do leave, though, don't expect that that's going to be a picnic either, because if you do leave, there's often what we call post-separation abuse, a lot of anger, smear campaigns, telling other people terrible things about you. So even when you make a decision, it's not always smooth sailing. But I don't want people to feel that the only path forward is that you have to leave or cut off contact. That's simply not practical for many, if not most people.
You just mentioned it there that people shouldn't expect a narcissistic person to actually change, but if they are now recognising these qualities within themselves, if that's even possible, can they change?
If they commit to the work, they get excellent high-quality therapy. They follow through. They can sit with the discomfort, the shame, the humility, the vulnerability, can take accountability for behavior. I've been doing this work a long time, and I've worked with a lot of narcissistic folks over the years. And I have to say, even when there was a commitment to it, maybe it would get a little bit of the way. That might have been enough for their family. For example, they don't yell as much, but are they becoming a big, safe, warm, kind teddy bear? No. Yeah. So we might be able to tweak some of the behaviors. But again, personality, doesn't matter if you have a great personality or a difficult personality. Personality is hard to change.
It sure is. Oh, gosh, a lot to unpack, and I'm sure for a lot of people watching, this will certainly hit home for them. You're going to be here in Australia next year. We're going to put the dates up on the screen and also a link in our website. Of course, people can buy tickets now. Thank you so much for your time today.
Fascinating chat.
It is a topic that is endless. You know, a lot of people are affected by this, so thanks for your insights. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the time. Thank you.